It looks so good, dude! It looks so good!
A certain episode of Assassination Class is being delayed for over a week, apparently because some terrorist was shown in the news holding a knife. It doesn't matter if the knife in question is completely harmless against people, or that the show is not about terrorism. All it took for not airing an episode was the shape of a knife and some completely irrelevant abduction. Remember when they deleted the Twin Towers from the Spider-Man films because of 9/11? Many shows have scenes of nudity or gore being removed or censored, but in this case there was nothing offending here. It was removed with the excuse that some people might be scared by something that is happening in the real world, and this way they won't be able to enjoy the movie. In other words, episodes are delayed and scenes are removed for the sake of escapism. We need to keep reality as far detached from these titles as possible, while at the same time pretending that these stories take place in our world. Relatability with no backfire, that's so ideal. I grew up in the 80s when there was no such thing as censorship. Well, at least not in my country, and not in such a ridiculous amount. A show would be made, and it would stay as it was made. You think that anyone cared when Hitler was a major villain in a famous mecha anime of the 70s, such as Get a Robo? You think anyone complained and demanded for it to be edited out? No sir, no such things happened back then. But nowadays, some guys make a threat over the internet and whole movies are cancelled. Because we have reached to a point where you can get killed by watching Batman in a cinema, or get slaughtered by Muslims for drawing a cartoon of Muhammad. Technology has brought us so close to the point you can say something and in 10 minutes someone books a flight from the other side of the planet while holding a machine gun. In past centuries you were not allowed to say what you want to say because monarchy was not in favor of free speech and there was no technology to have your words spread around too much. Now you have democracy, you have freedom of speech, you have mass media, and you still can't say what you want because some people are very sensitive and technology allows them to transform into living bombs. I accept why censorship exists from an economical perspective. You censor all the gore and the nudity as means to air a show in a certain time slot and to increase the Blu-ray sales. That's understandable. Everybody wins with this tactic. It waters down the viewing experience, alright, but then you just beg the question, why the heck are you still watching television? It's a dying medium, limited in what it can show, when it can show it, and is constantly interrupting the flow of the story with commercials. Don't blame television for censoring stuff. Blame yourselves for not simply watching the Blu-ray version. Whenever you want, with no censorship, in as many parts as you want, and with no freaking intermissions for commercials. I also accept why dubs usually need to change a few things in the dialogues. Japanese names sound very weird when a show is aimed at children. Most puns simply can't be translated, and many references to culture and traditions are impossible to make sense of without prior knowledge. Changes in those departments are sort of essential. But major changes in the meaning of the dialogues and digital editing that completely changes the plot? This is where you're crossing the line. It's not simply offending for the creators and the fans. It also creates a completely different show that still pretends to be the same thing and uses the same name. I mean, the American version of the Power Rangers is based heavily on the Japanese footage of Super Sentai series. But they are not using the same name. They are a completely different series despite using the exact same scenes. The funny thing is that censorship can easily be used in a creative and positive way. The notorious tentacle hentai fetish is a result of not allowing animators to show genitalia. And before you know it, it became a subgenre of its own. And who can forget Ikuhara shows, where everything is symbolisms for sex. I don't personally like any of that shit, but it's still creative and it's not black circles or white beams. Plus, nobody's going to blow your brains out for depicting vaginas as flowers.
Expressing your own opinion about a certain series or a certain character or whatever is great.
Joey, you're not who I thought that you were when I subscribed to your channel.
Just because I dislike this one show, that does not mean I am allowed to express my personal opinions on the topic.
It looks so good, dude! It looks so good!
A bunch of people just started jumping in and all that obviously want to have a reason to hate me. And just try to get me terminated completely off of YouTube and ruin my livelihood. I don't want you cheebits to go out of your way and attack this individual. I want this to be a very mature video. I have done this in the past with certain vlogs. Even if I am completely in the wrong, people will still go out of their way to defend me. It's a wonderful world we live in. When you keep talking about a person, you're just giving them advertisement. If you don't like me that much, then don't keep talking about me. It is free advertisement at the end of the day. Even me doing this actually is technically free advertisement for the individuals that were doing what they were doing to me. So I deleted the tweet, trying to hide evidence. And I did block a lot of people as well. All of the people that were trying to start crap with me. like all the fan base. So if they would like to openly talk to me about anything, I'm fine for that. I am being snarky and a bit of an arrogant ass in this. I openly take an L.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Someone messaged me on Twitter about a shooting that was caused by a guy who liked anime. It is ironic to accuse others of things you're at fault yourself, but beyond that, let's make sure none of you watching this video are still confused with what exactly is going on here. The problem was not with him watching anime or having guns. The problem was not with anime or guns either. The problem was himself. Just like any other person who does crazy things, he had issues he couldn't cope with. Anime and guns are just coping mechanisms for whatever issues people have at the moment. By themselves, they cannot do any harm because they are inanimate objects. It's how you use them that does all the harm. It's the famous proverb of guns don't kill people, it's people who kill people by using guns. No matter how much I dislike modern anime, I would never blame them for all the shit that are going on in the anime community. Because they are just objects, they cannot do any harm on their own. It's the people who are making them and the people who are using them that we should be redirecting our attention to. Banning anime or guns or whatever is not gonna stop people from doing crazy things. It's going to lessen the problem because people are not gonna have the tools to do crazy things with as easily as they do now, but the problem is not gonna be fixed, it's still gonna be there, and they're not gonna be cured. We, the consumers, should be more responsible with the utilities we are given. We cannot be irresponsible and immature and then blame inanimate objects for our stupidity. In the same way, the producers of said products and utilities should be more responsible as well. Because if making money is all they care about and completely ignore the damage they are causing, by essentially taking advantage of depressed people who seek comfort by consuming crappy moe anime, or frustrated people who want to feel powerful by owning a lot of firepower, then the truth is that they are the root of the problem, not anime or guns or whatever. When I'm making fun of other YouTubers, I don't just do it for fun. It's also a warning for the rest of you to stay away from that sort of stupid mentality. It's not the weeb shit that made them do all the stupid things they do. It's the misuse of said weeb shit and nobody in their environment helping them out so they can be responsible and mature. Social health care is not limited to just handing around drugs to mentally sick people. It's also about teaching them how to be responsible with the stuff they are given. If you just sell them products and you don't care about what they're gonna do with them because you just wanna make profit, you're the problem, not the products you are selling. And when we, the consumers, choose to use those products in a negative way, such as self-deprecating idiots who cannot shut up about their lives being miserable, and thus they need to consume moe and crappy shonen, instead of just doing something more creative and productive that can actually help them fix that problem, why are we blaming anime or guns or whatever? It's our fault. We are essentially destroying ourselves with the utilities we should be using in a positive and creative way. So it all boils down to using the tools you are given, not for hurting others and yourself, as well as to have someone to teach you how to use them in the right way, to be positive and creative and helpful to others. It's very important to find someone who can teach you the right way to do something, such as myself, a genius, who knows everything and is better than all of you stinking filthy plebs!
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
It's only been 2 days since the airing of the new era of anime, because some mediocre webcomic got adopted, and the censorship has begun! Yesterday, I and a lot of other people expressed our concerns about the first episode. Almost immediately, the fanboys demanded censorship and bans for anyone who does not have blind faith. A few hours later, all negative reviews on Mal were deleted, and now only positive reviews are allowed to be posted. This is how the fanboys of any show, not just this one, control the narrative. They delete, censor, and ban anyone who is not dick-riding their mediocrities, and then claim everyone loves it. Just look at the reviews and how they are all positive. Once again we see how quality does not matter, critical thinking is censored, and the only thing that is allowed is blind fanboyism. It is not limited to Tower of God, it is in every show. All fandoms are using the exact same schemes, which is why I am not part of any fandom, and I make fun of them daily. And then people wonder why are anime fans not respected and taken seriously.
If you have problems and you would love to talk about it and you want to talk about how they can fix it, don't bother at all. You may as well keep your mouth shut.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Shueisha is trending worldwide.
Wow, Shueisha is trending, guys! It's the best company ever!
They're trending for a bad reason.
So much for trending always being a good thing. In this particular case, it's about the censorship going on over a few images. I mean, come on.
That's just counterproductive. That's bad business. At the end of the day, you want ideally people to constantly talk about your product.
Yes, because you're trying to sell a product, and people must keep talking about a product so you can sell them the product.
Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
This is going to massively impact in a negative light the anime manga community. They thrive off of people getting excited and talking.
And by talking, you mean talking positively and always being hyped, because if you are negative, ooh!
Not really selling you on Fist of the North Star. He doesn't really sell you on it. Doesn't really sell you on it. Not good.
If people don't talk about those things, they won't get spread, and then you're gonna have to, instead of having fans, promoting your works for you by talking about it, they're gonna have to spend millions and millions of dollars to promote these works, because that's just how it works.
Oh no, we'll be back to the times when people were watching something because they were interested, and not because millions were shouting on Twitter about it every day. Oh, the disaster! No more hype, no, no, no! People will be watching something because they want to. Oh, ho, 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 ho.
So either A, you allow people to enjoy themselves and talk about the things that they love, again in a proper manner, not uploading full chapters or full episodes or things like that, or it's gonna be bad.
Did you notice how detailed he was about what happens if he keeps going the same way, as opposed to not being allowed to keep going the same way? It's just bad. He didn't get into details because he knows that the alternative is much better. It's just not gonna be making money out of stupid fanboys.
And honestly, attacking fans is just not the wave at all.
Yes, fans like me, not the fakes, the sellouts, and all those pretentious overthinkers who just do it for money.
When my work is released, the evolution of Autumn Walters, I am totally make memes, showcase your love for the characters, talk about the story, whatever, have a blast.
Come on, Ogre, that's not what you mean. You want people to keep talking about it in a positive way, because if they keep on shitting on it, you wouldn't like it. You wouldn't want people to keep talking about it, because it would make you look bad. So no, it's not about people keep talking about it, it's about people always being hyped and positive. This is what you never admit openly.
Things are looking bad, and honestly, Shueisha is not looking great. Their PR right now is looking disastrous, considering this is trending worldwide. You're basically scaring your fans away, and that's never a good thing.
Always be positive and sell product.
People just want to post their memes and their enjoyment for this medium in peace. Please don't take that away from us. Come on, fam. Don't make 2021 2020 part 2. I'm just saying.
What a great start. Oh!
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
So Crunchyroll has censored Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister. Many people started to notice that there was some discrepancies, so to speak. Onimai, I'm Now Your Sister does have some things that will raise an eyebrow and does have some questionable things in it that everybody will probably talk about in that controversy, and I'm not going to get into that. I'm not doing that. In the discussion right there, the point is, I'm talking about just censorship and what Crunchyroll is doing. Everybody was aware that the series was going to cause a lot of people to start to freak out. Regardless of your stance on Onimai, if you like it or not, whatever your opinion is on it, that's irrelevant at the moment in the discussion. They still decided to pick it up, and they decided to go out of their way and censor the said show. I just don't understand it. Why would you pick up an anime just to censor it? These companies, like Crunchyroll now, they don't look at what they necessarily pick up. They just pick things up, and then they just want to blanket sweep grab everything, because they're afraid that, let's say, someone like Disney, or Hulu, or, any other mainstreaming platform service will pick up the said series, and they won't be able to get it. I don't understand why Crunchyroll would go out of their way to pick up said series just to censor it. It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. I'm just confused. I don't know why they'd pick it up if they would do something like this. A service that people are paying, such as myself, for, is censoring content. Don't pick it up if you have a problem with it. In the discussion right there, we're not paying a premium for you to just censor stuff. In the discussion. I don't want you censoring it with your own little rules or whatever. Be safe, stay healthy.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Bilibili removed the Mushoku Tensei because it was offending to women. The best thing we can do about it is to remove the info about it from Reddit for keeping the community safe, civil, and true to its purpose as a circle jerk of positivity. As we all know, a problem is fixed when you ignore it.
And as expected from anything that becomes mainstream, more and more people watch something that isn't aimed at them, and therefore more and more people become offended by it. Something that wouldn't happen if anime had remained a niche medium, limited to those who actually like it, and not to everyone who are bound to be offended because no show is for everyone.
Oh, you're doing it for the money.
But that's what you get when all that matters is money, and when the Chinese get offended, you lose most of that money, so you have to pull down your pants and please the very people who initiated the global pandemic dystopia. It's really worth being in support of the pandemic dystopia if it's about all that money. After all, the more money something makes, the better it is, and you should be happy to be part of it.
Shoutouts to the quality writing, quality storytelling that Jujutsu Kaisen has showcased that is allowing it to hit these numbers, yo. 30 million! Oh my god, I can't stress enough that Jujutsu Kaisen's the future, baby. I'm so glad that I've been a fan of it for years now, and it's already breaking the mold and doing a crazy amount of sales.
Be happy that you're part of the new Chinese world order because they make you a lot of money. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant be glad that Mushoku Tensei is off the air because it's offending to women. That is the real reason we are doing this, right guys? It's not like Japan is pumping out more and more disgusting isekai, which are nothing more than power fantasies for degenerates that make them feel powerful by shaming women. We really care about women's feelings, which is why we keep making more shows that are not aimed at women, but rather at nits who are wasting a fortune on chauvinism. Japan is definitely going to take down all those terrible isekai, which are making them billions of dollars by milking the gynophobes. They really care more about women than the money they squeeze out of antisocials and degenerates.
Oh, you're doing it for the money.
In all seriousness though, Mushoku Tensei did not deserve to be taken down. Just because it offended some people, it doesn't give the right to those people to ruin the fun for everyone else. The show wasn't made for women, so why shouldn't it not be allowed to be made for everyone else as well? Does this also mean women should be forbidden from watching it and talking about it? Hell no! When you make anime mainstream and you throw them out for mass consumption, you cannot order anyone to not watch or talk about them because it wasn't aimed for you. If it's mainstream, it's aimed at everyone. You made it public so people can watch it all they want and talk about it all they want. Nothing is going to prevent that because that is what you wanted when you made mainstream something that should have remained niche.
Oh, you're doing it for the money.
And that is why Reddit is constantly censoring criticism and perpetuates the circle jerk of something that is niche, and yet it's marketed as mainstream, and why every company needs to pull down their pants and please the Chinese overlords and their sweet money, as if they actually care about the feelings of women and are in favor of freedom of expression.
Oh, you're doing it for the money.
By the way, do you know how easy it is to make money just by talking about women? It's ridiculously easy! Why am I wasting my time talking about Mulder in anime when I can exploit feminism for money? I wonder why the algorithm is telling me not to offend strong and dynamic women when they can make me lots of easy money if I agree with them. I really care about women's feelings, and that is why I want Mushoku Tensei to not be taken off the air despite offending them so much. Did you actually think I do it all for the money? Who do you think I am, the ogre? Money.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Whenever a chibi has to say something negative about a person, he always says, "Don't go and harass that person." It's what he did with me and caused my first channel to be deleted, so there goes that claim. On the other hand, if it's something positive, he says, "Go there and give him your best wishes." It's what he's doing in this video in the upper right corner. It may seem like all he's doing is spreading only positivity and not negativity, but he's actually doing a very evil thing. Anyone who defends it is in support of the most evil crimes committed in human history. You heard right. Whoever dares to say there is nothing wrong in focusing only on the positives and ignoring the negatives, he is basically supporting propaganda. What is propaganda if not hiding the evil aspects and promoting only the good aspects of whatever you are in support of? If you are defending Chibi's methods, then you are also defending whatever the Nazis and any other evil faction was doing throughout history. It sounds like I am equating the stupid shit a man-child is saying with the greatest crimes against mankind, but the justification is the same, and in the long run, it's self-destructive for those who use it. Look what happened to the mind of Chibi and anyone who believes and defends the methods he is using. They remained babies. They destroyed channels just because they disagreed. They constantly play the victim card. They cry on screen every time someone disagrees and apologize every time they are being negative for a change. They became slaves of their own hypocrisy. They can never admit the truth because they live inside a lie, and the truth is going to destroy them. So yes, if you support Chibi's ways, you are a literal Nazi. That aside, this whole hide the negativity and spread the positivity fuss is done in the most infantile way possible. Thus the message becomes meaningless. If you don't want information to spread, you don't make a public video about something you don't want people to talk about, and then you demand from your audience to not spread around the information. You say nothing and you hope it will be forgotten. But that is not what he's doing. He thinks his infantile fanbase is not going to harass the people he speaks badly about just because he told them not to, which is not what happened after he made that video about me. You think just because he said in that video, "Please don't harass the snob for exposing my bullshit," that makes him free of guilt? If he didn't want it, he wouldn't have talked about it. What did he expect would happen when he had formed a large audience of filfags who react to emotion instead of common sense? He was crying on screen saying someone was bullying him, which is a lie. I was only exposing his bullshit the same way I am exposing anyone else over the years. Then he swore he's doing his best to improve, which is a lie since he never did. And then he said don't harass those who talk badly about me, which is also a lie since he knew that is exactly what would happen. Because he nurtured his audience to behave like that. And he didn't change his ways over the years either. He still blocks anyone who says something remotely negative. Thus he is still hiding the negative side and only promotes the positive side of whatever he is talking about, which by the way it's almost always some degenerate otaku bullshit no sane person would ever consider to be positive for anything. And that is why anyone who acts like Chibi or defends people like Chibi is a literal Nazi. Going back to his infantile request to not spread negativity, if you don't want to spread negativity, then don't talk about it. And by that I don't mean you stating you don't want to go there, you don't even mention it. Because when you do the former, you openly admit it's problematic and you deliberately ignore it because you can't take it. You can't tolerate the truth knowing you're in support of something so flawed. And that is why you turn to propaganda and you become a literal Nazi. Oh, come on, Snap, he only wants to spread positivity. I am not saying he doesn't. He's still a Nazi, and he's still promoting degenerate otaku filth that fills your brain with trash. If admitting it counts as bullying, then please don't go and harass those who said it, which is the same thing as saying go there and cancel culture them. You Nazis! It doesn't matter what you say because the response is the same regardless of how you frame it. And before some of you morons start typing how I am doing the same thing whenever I upload a video that makes fun of a YouTuber for something stupid they said or did, I will remind you that I am not asking you to shut up about it or be only positive. You are free to say anything you want. You can leave as many positive or negative comments you like, and I am not going to block you. But I am gonna make a video about them because I love humiliating idiots. Either way, I am not controlling what people are allowed to say or think, unlike Chibi or any other infantile YouTuber does. Do you know why? Because I am not a literal Nazi using propaganda to promote what I like. You may not like hearing it, but it's not propaganda. What the Chibi and his goons are doing is propaganda, and they are literal Nazis! On top of being infantilized degenerates who promote trash, who don't want you to be critical, who want you to remain a stupid baby your whole life, and who use cancel culture on anyone who speaks the truth.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Twitch's art category hits a record viewership, thanks to the artistic nude rule change.
Free porn.
Every time the need for censorship is brought up, it's met with a lot of naysayers who instantly say stuff like watering down entertainment, ruining the vision of the creator, destroying art, and hiding the truth from the media. As much as those claims are true, I am not in favor of any kind of censorship. It's closer to trigger warnings and limited access to things that are not family-friendly and in many cases not even appropriate for a healthy mind. So no, I am not in favor of the old ways of censoring something, changing the dialogue so it will have a different meaning, cutting out scenes with questionable material, or having black circles that hide the nasty parts is a thing of the past. If you're gonna watch something, then watch it as it was meant to be, but only if it's appropriate for your age and mental health. which is also something a lot of people are against. Who are you to tell us what we are allowed to watch? It's not about what you are allowed to watch, it's about how it affects you.
But I thought people want to see me draw our comic book characters and they want to see me draw like Disney characters. No, they just wanted tits.
As someone who grew up watching a lot of messed up 80s OVAs, I can tell you with certainty that that shit was not meant to be watched by kids. It messed up my psyche at an age when I should be focusing on other, more positive things around me. I liked them for what they were, obviously. I always preferred dark and violent shows over Scooby-Doo clones, but it affected me in ways that made me think and act differently from other kids in my age, and in many cases in a negative way. You can blame the government for allowing 80s OVAs to be on television, and parenting for allowing me to watch such kind of television. It all comes down to having access to things I shouldn't have at my easily impressionable age with no guidance from anyone.
This change, they permitted artistic nudity. Following the change, the art category saw a massive spike in popularity.
So good. It's perfect.
I could be fed any message and I would accept it because I was a pleb who liked anything that was cool and violent. And now that I see what young people of today have access to, I am constantly thinking about the effect it will have on their mental state. I am not worried about them watching an uncensored version of something I don't like. I am worried about the agendas those stories are pushing and which they will accept because they are in an easily impressionable age. It wasn't that big of a deal when I was a kid because there was no internet or social media. It was just me watching television and nobody telling me why this is good or this is bad without coming off as a Nazi. And which of course was only making me more curious to watch more Chinese Mickey Mouse.
Typically a fairly low viewership section became a sensation overnight. The number of streamers broadcasting under the section increased by over 3,000. But it became filled with sexual anime and furry content.
Shocker. Unhinged behavior, and I'm here for it.
Nowadays there is an online community for anything, where people with similar likes and ideas gather and keep telling each other that what they consume is amazing or what they hate deserves to be hated. It's not like in my time where nobody cared, or when they cared they were coming off as Nazis. Nowadays you have the internet that panders your any desire or bias. So anyone who says whatever issues you have with something is only a you problem, he is lying. Because you are no longer a kid who watches what's on television with parents and teachers doing a crappy job. Nowadays you have free access to almost anything and anyone you meet there is going to tell you nothing but positive things. Confirmation bias is a sweet poison. It tells you what you want to hear and doesn't burden you if you don't check any other opinions. In fact, it's going to praise you. Ignore them, they are haters. They want to ruin your fun. We know what's good for you, listen only to us. If that's not cult mentality, I don't know what it is.
Can you imagine that? You tell people they can draw nudes on Twitch and the first thing that happens is furry porn.
Job well done. You got my attention.
Everyone nowadays is living in an echo chamber of his choice where there is usually no guidance, parental or any other kind. There is probably not gonna be someone who will warn you about the dangers of certain themes or ideas, and when such a person appears, they will instantly kick him out, and sometimes they will go as far as harassing and doxing him until they destroy his social life and his job career. That's why it's a lot more serious now than when it was when I was growing up. And it's why some sort of censorship in the form of warnings and limited access is needed, not because there are evil people who want to ruin your entertainment or hide the truth, but because in many cases there has to be a counterpoint.
Blue furry dicks or whatever, you know, and then throw our family-friendly ads up next to that. You know, Coca-Cola polar bears with tits and dicks.
I can't wait.
Young people in their easily impressionable age often don't realize how they accept dangerous ideas that are fine in fiction as a power fantasy or as escapism, but are otherwise self-destructive if applied in their real world. If such people are only surrounded by like-minded individuals who agree with each other, it's only gonna make them stubborn and unwilling to see the issues. If I was part of an online community at a young age, who knows how much I would be defending all that crap I was seeing in those messed up 80s OVAs, and how much of that would spill out in my social life because of my parasocial relationships with a community of thousands of distant people. I wouldn't be able to use the "it's just fiction" excuse so so many turn to nowadays, because I would be behaving like a weeb or an anime character all the time, not just at home when watching television, and I would be encouraged to keep on doing it instead of being mocked for being a weirdo. And yes, we are all mocked for our hobbies, regardless of what they are. It makes us feel unwanted, but it also tempers how we think and behave around them. Without that, which counts as a restraint in the public space, you behave like a cartoon all the time, without the toon force abilities that make you shrug off injuries and insults. If you make a mistake, there is not gonna be a wah 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 sound effect and then everything goes back to normal. It seems easy to understand, but then you see all those cartoon people out there who literally dress and behave like one all the time, and who mostly believe everything they say and do because their parasocial relationships have been pondering them 24/7. It might be easy for you to get it, but it's impossible for many others to get such simple facts. What do you mean it's just fiction when you became the fiction?
Twitch's art category overrun by explicit furry and anime content, countless topless anime characters, and explicit anthropomorphic images can be seen just by browsing the category, making it difficult to find content that isn't for mature audiences.
Is anybody surprised by this? I'm not surprised.
It is really going to be quite the experience.
I am up in arms whenever I see people defending stuff like Mushoku Tensei as a redemption story they're watching for the background art. Many of them believe that shit. They have convinced themselves. They use all sort of mental gymnastics to excuse this, and then they use the thousands of others they find online to back up this illusion they believe in. If you think this is not really a problem, look what is going on in most schools. They indoctrinate children into wanting to become trannies because of first world problems like body dysphoria. I am bald and fat. How is chopping off my dick, wearing a wig and changing my name is gonna make me beautiful? It won't, it's just gonna make me a freak that has no sense of shame anymore and is therefore behaving shamelessly all the time. It's what every child can easily fall for when there is no censorship and guidance. It's why manlets like Chibi who end the video by saying stay healthy, be safe. There will be many who will believe he's improving their mental health by promoting degeneracy and acting like a baby at the age of 30.
Full on Foxman penis right on the screen. This is what happens when you don't have a coherent set of principles guiding rule creation.
This is going to be a stunning visual experience.
This is why censorship in the form of warnings and age restrictions is very important. It shouldn't be loathed and disregarded because it's very important for people who don't have the best mental health or who are easily impressionable. Free access to messed up power fantasies and escapism without guidance and warnings is harmful. Whether it's parents or teachers or moderators or random people like me telling them about it, there has to be a counterpoint and they have to keep it in mind. I know that it seems like they should be able to do such a simple thing on their own, but if it were so simple, we wouldn't have so many people yelling, "It's fiction, so it's fine, it's a redemption story," and then they bark like dogs at the feet of women because that is what real men do these days, and by chopping off their dicks they can turn from fat smelly otakus to cute girls everyone loves and who have no worry in the world. Many of them unironically believe this garbage, and this is what I am against. The more such people exist, the more the entertainment industry will promote such degenerate trash to take their money, and the more the medium you liked your whole life will get usurped by the kind of people you don't want to be associated with. This is not me being an old man yelling at clouds. This is about the mental health of millions of people who are fans of the same medium I am and who without any sort of guidance and censorship will turn into the worst humanity has to offer.
If they think you're a racist, they will kick you off of Twitch, but draw blue Foxman sausage, and that's cool. That's totally cool.
It does help me out a lot, and I would greatly appreciate it.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Western companies are forcing Japan to bow down and censor not just anime and manga to be viewed overseas, but to literally censor the content at its very source. This is just tragic. Western companies, it's forcing Japan offers and these companies in Japan to self-censor themselves at the very source to where it won't just affect like how anime are in Western societies, but also just how it is in Japan. For instance, authors no longer will be able to maybe have a lot of fan service or certain ways characters are drawn. It's legitimately sad. This is just straight up tragedy. This is basically the culture of Japan being trampled upon and being forced to change because obviously it doesn't fit the ideology of certain, companies, etc., and their agendas. It's gross stuff, man. It is legitimately gross. It's devastating, man. I hate seeing this. It legitimately makes me extremely sad. It just makes me extremely sad, honestly, all things considered. I hate seeing this, man. This is messed up. This is legitimately messed up. I hate seeing, literally, just how, at the very source, Japan is having to censor itself now.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
There is an official illustration of Priscilla basically getting undressed and then dressing and all that, and it's a very fan service heavy illustration shot. It's probably going to be very shameless, great, and it's going to be uncensored, also very great.
I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy. My goodness. My goodness, it looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
ReZero, man, such a huge impact on my life.
I'm so happy, man.
I hold it in such high esteem. I love it so much.
I'm so happy.
It is something that really has shaped and changed my life for the better.
My goodness.
It's something that I really hold so special within my heart.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
It's such a good feeling to find a series that really can affect you to such an emotional degree that you love so deeply.
I'm so happy, man.
The animators and everyone, they don't care. They're gonna show everything, and I really like that.
I'm so happy.
There is definitely content censored, but it is definitely better than it was, and I really do appreciate that. I extremely appreciate that.
My goodness.
All these scenes within ReZero was done from a perspective of passion and love for the project, and once again, really love to see that. The animator, whoever animated this, thought they could sneak this in. You know for a fact they thought they could sneak this in, but they straight up, people were already talking about this basically. Yes, this is a very important scene. We definitely needed a full back shot scene.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Hey, do you know why censorship is bad? Because the banks only want to censor pornographic and immoral anime, and not OnlyFans accounts, which are also pornographic and immoral. This clearly proves the banks are hypocrites and therefore nothing should be censored. You either censor everything or you don't censor a thing. And that's why censorship is bad. Oh wait, that doesn't prove a thing. It's another case of whataboutism. Censoring anime. What about censoring OnlyFans? Leave Gunner anime alone because they are not censoring OnlyFans. Oh, and let's not forget the classic excuse of, it's fiction, therefore it's safe, because nobody can possibly get hurt by fiction.
It is fiction. Doesn't harm anyone, it's not harm anyone, it's not real, okay? I'm just gonna straight up say it, okay? It's not. It's not real. Trying to say it is real is harming people. So think about whatever you want of it, but basically, there is a line when you start to say that's the exact same thing, you really are doing damages to, let's say, actual people that are getting harmed.
A few moments ago.
I'm so happy, man. I'm so happy. My goodness. My goodness. It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Bleach anime used in New Zealand murder case defense. Schizophrenic suspect was acting out Bleach anime scene when he assaulted and murdered the victim. So he basically believed he was the character so deeply that that is why he did what he did.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
I have made videos about Chibi being against the censorship, and I have mentioned several times that the only thing he wants to be left untouched is the degenerate filth for gooners. Not many of you got that, and you ended up disagreeing with me. Censorship is always bad, and Chibi is right to be against it. Until he isn't. You can see that in how he praises the anime of Solo Leveling as better than the webcomic without ever being bothered by how it's also censored. And the reason he is not is because it's not about degenerate filth for gooners. In case you didn't know, the webcomic takes place in Korea and it has an anti-Japan sentiment. Because Korea hates Japan, you know. Not only the anime took that element out of the story, it also made it seem like it takes place in Japan. If taking out degenerate filth for gooners counts as censorship because it goes against the original vision of the creator, then so is taking out the racism because that also goes against the original vision of the creator. And if any of you say it's an issue of localization, meaning you have to change things so you can air a show in a different country, then you are fine with the companies changing anime so they can air them in different countries. Thus the hypocrisy is now exposed, and anyone who defended Chibi for being against the censorship was only defending degenerate filth for gooners. How do you feel now, you filthy plebs?
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Imagine you have a tomato garden. In order to make sure the tomatoes will grow properly, you have to water them, give them fertilizer, trim the withered leaves, and remove the weeds. So imagine what will happen if you listen to someone saying, a garden needs a few weeds to look more natural, so don't do anything for weeks. The tomato plants will wither and the weeds will grow. It was a bad idea to neglect the garden. So imagine then the same guy saying, let me help you to bring it back to how it should be. And he proceeds to throw away all the healthy tomato plants and leaves only the withered ones and all the weeds. You ask him why he did that, and he answers, because this is how gardens were always like. Here's Chibi complaining about yet another time. Gooning was always what anime were about. Removing it will end all anime. Anyone who doesn't like it and wants to go back to a time when most anime weren't about simps and harlots should be thrown out of the community. And that's why censorship is bad.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Cuties is not fiction, okay? It's not like animated. It's not drawings. It's real kids in very exploitative situations. It's pretty damning and gross to see an organization running defense for that alone.
You gooning over lines on a piece of paper is normal and should be accepted because jerking off to cartoons is not real. But you gooning over actors playing a role that does not reflect how they actually are in real life, oh, that is not fiction. That is real and should be banned.
This senator tried to argue that all anime and manga should be banned.
Ah yes, all anime will be banned. Only they won't, because not every anime has obscene material depicting children, which is what the legislation was about.
He goes off and starts talking about Goblin Slayer in a completely inaccurate way, pretty much saying like the whole point of the series is for people to, be basically sexualized and harmed or whatever, when the story actively says the goblins are evil.
Is that what you were saying back in 2020? That the show is openly admitting the goblins are evil?
The writer's not saying it, the story is not saying it, it's just saying that's just what the goblins have to do. But he's saying that because there's taboo content in general with it, it shouldn't exist, everything about it should be banned.
If you are a pedogooner who only jerks off to obscene material depicting children, then yes, all your anime will be banned, and you should phrase it like that on your channel for all to hear it.
Can we all admit, Shiro, best lolly of the season? Best lolly? Here is my bed.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
Why wouldn't you want to protect kids? Why wouldn't you want to, keep them from seeing bad things? And here's the thing, okay? It's up to the parents to do this. It should not be the government, like the big government, to come in and do this. Parents should do their jobs. They should stop being lazy and do what they're supposed to do by taking care of their kids and keeping them out of things they shouldn't be getting into.
Hey, thanks, Chibi. If it weren't for you, nobody would have thought of that. Parents should be responsible for what their kids are watching or playing. Those lazy parents who have to work at least 10 hours each and every day so they can pay the bills and then come home too tired to do anything. Those same lazy parents who have no idea what them TikToks and them ChatGPTs are supposed to be about, so whenever they hear something bad, they just take the child's access to the internet entirely. It's those lazy parents who never studied proper parenthood or child psychology who should be enforcing their desires on their children, usually by hitting them and yelling at them non-stop for watching them TikToks and them ChatGPTs for which they have no idea what they are supposed to be. It's those lazy parents who have a hard time staying married and not fall victims to alcohol, tobacco, obesity, porn, mental diseases and what have you, that should be responsible to teach their kids how to be responsible with them TikToks and them ChatGPTs. I mean, if you happen to have parents who somehow don't have marital problems, somehow never get tired, somehow have mastered the child psychology, somehow are fully savvy with what's trending among kids, somehow have no vices, somehow are mentally and physically perfect, somehow have absolutely no desire to have personal lives, or somehow have no hobbies of their own, then sure, most definitely, let those parents control what their kids are doing. So their kids can hate them anyways for being control freaks. But there aren't that many parents who can do all that, are there? I would go as far as saying 99% of all parents can't even do half of what it's required to be a good parent who raises his child properly. How are they better at controlling what their kids are doing? I mean, yes, they are parents, they should be responsible, but they don't know or care or have the time to be responsible. It's why they send their kids away to any other place than their house, to be in schools or music academies or summer camps. They don't want their kids to be constantly at home, where they have to constantly be looking after them, only to fail completely at it because they don't know the first thing about how to raise kids properly. On paper, they should be doing that, but in practice, nobody can do that properly. In fact, he could be sued for being oppressive and not letting his children to socialize outside the house. It's why parents always expect teachers, those who have trained how to treat and educate children, to do all that for them. So no, you cannot expect parents to do everything on their own. The best thing they can do is find a school or a teacher who will be monitoring their online activities and scolding them whenever they buy porn games or something, for which there is no such thing. Nobody wants to be controlled on his activities online, parents included, which is why you cannot burden them with controlling what their kids are watching online. And you certainly cannot use words such as lazy to describe that inability.
They should stop being lazy.
Holy shit, how bad must your mother and father be for you to look at them in the eyes and call them lazy? The responsibility of accepting to have a child instead of constantly going for abortion, and the amount of time they have to spend every day in taking care of a baby cannot be called lazy. Even if they do nothing to protect their kids from online pornography, you cannot call them lazy. And this is where I'm gonna make this personal, because that fucking piece of shit Chibi is the definition of someone who was raised in a dysfunctional family that did nothing to raise him properly. His father is a drunkard who was arrested multiple times for driving under influence while possessing illegal firearms. His brother unlived himself. His sister is in a nut house. And he himself is the textbook definition of a man-child, a porn addict, and a compulsive liar with terrible social skills. He was in a relationship a few years back, and he drove his girlfriend insane. She went as far as murdering their child. And despite all that, this failure of a mature adult has the nerve to call all parents lazy for not monitoring their kids all the time. Why the hell do people still take this guy seriously? He keeps saying that the censorship is not about protecting kids, when he too doesn't care about the mental health of kids, because he completely destroyed his after so many years of being an immature gooner. The only reason he is nagging constantly about censorship is because he wants people to forget all the creepy things he was openly gooning about for over a decade and now wants to come off as a paragon of freedom of expression. And by that he means jerking off all day to underage siblings and then calling it fiction that has no effect on his life. Then why is he jerking off to cartoons all day? Plus, if he is so much against censorship, why has he blocked thousands of people from commenting on his videos and Twitter posts? So much for freedom of expression. He doesn't care about children and he doesn't care about art. The only thing he's doing is defending the degeneracy he's addicted to and which is his main source of income, even if that means allowing children to play porn games and then blaming the parents for everything.
They should stop being lazy.
Oh yeah? Well, by this definition, you don't say anything about the war in Sudan, because you don't give a shit about the millions of children starving in Africa. You just defend the lolly incest porn you're addicted to and which makes you money.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good.
If you see this and don't see a problem with it, you should probably seek some help.
These new fans that used to never care for anime, don't care about the culture, don't care to adapt to the culture or learn why people like anime or manga, why people like anime or manga, they're coming into the communities and trying to force the will of anime and manga and light novels, whatever, to bend to their ideals of what they want. These new fans are forcing these studios and animators and stuff to do what they want. This merchandise sells to do what they want. And if they don't do what they want, then they're gonna basically, be very upset. They're gonna pull a hissy fit. I hope they drop the manga. I hope they never come back to this series, and I just go out the door. Drop the manga, get filtered. You're a freaking tourist. They're going to, decry it or try to buzzword you to death. You're a freaking tourist. We've gotten to that point to where if you buy a figure, you should turn yourself into the police. That's crazy, man. Can we all admit, Shiro, best lolly of the season? Best lolly? Here is my bed. Actual grifters that are grifting on anime and manga content just to be able to make as much money or conversation around it. Here is my bed. And they could just monetize these very rage-baiting, obvious things that are just going to piss people off to get as much money as possible. Here is my bed. It's just a really bad systematic effect I've seen getting worse and worse over the years, and this is a really good example of that.
I think they might have taken one of my balls.
It looks so good, dude. It looks so good. Can we just have one day where there's not some form of censorship of the internet? Like, seriously. These payment processors basically bullying them into submission, bullying them into what they want them to do, or they will no longer be able to make money. We're going to remove the barrier around you, and we're going to let other people do it for us. It is a threat. It is a direct attack. They're not committing the act, but they're like, feel free to do the damage, everyone. Go for it. And that is messed up. Actually, some evil stuff. Like, it's insane. They're going hard after content, fictional content, to ban them or remove them, to censor them, to control what you have access to. I know there's a lot of people that, have a lot of different opinions on lolly content. Here's the thing. Regardless if you like it or dislike it, whatever, it is fictional content. You can find it weird, whatever. It's fictional content, okay? It has a right to exist as long as if it's harming nobody, it's not doing anything to anyone, you can find it weird, whatever. But the point of the matter is that if you allow that to be censored, it opens the door. When you open the door up, it's hard to close that door again. We now have rampant age verification on pretty much multiple different sites, the invasion of your privacy, forced ID, and everything in between. You can't just censor stuff you dislike, but then be like, wait, why is my stuff getting censored now? It doesn't work like that. All things will be attacked. It's another face that's been added into the pool of bad individuals, bad actors.